Hello, and welcome back to another episode of Skyrim Plus. Today we're featuring Peaceful Garden. Let's check out the map. Here we are at Peaceful Garden. We're near Rorikstead, Goldenhills Plantation, Talking Stone Camp, and here we are again at Peaceful Garden. For those of you that would rather have a visual example in the world space, here's Goldenhills Plantation. Further back is Rorikstead. And to the right of both of those locations is our new property, Peaceful Garden. As you can see, the property is gated and there will be a lot of outdoor features to enjoy. This is Elfie Myrtle 3's second home mod. Her first home mod was Bandit Lair, which I featured a couple of weeks ago. She has several more homes planned based on a series of short stories she wrote. Let's drop down and check it out. Before we tour the outside of the home, we need to complete a short quest to learn the home's backstory. So first, we need to enter the home. To the right of the front door is a journal. Read it. When you read it, it tells you the story of Yorgrim, the home's owner proposing to Nora of Rorikstead, her becoming pregnant, and him building a home for their family. It tells the story of the kids getting older, moving out, and eventually talks about Yorgrim finding Nora dead, likely a victim of the nearby giant camp. He buried her and said it would be too lonely to live here on his own, so he was going to move to Whiterun or Falkreath, but he never made it. The quest tells us that we need to go and find and bury Yorgrim, so we have to head to the Gildergreen tree, where Nora's grave is, to bury him. Just activate him, and it places a new headstone. The journal also discusses a dark building that comes and goes. This references the Live Another Life mod's alternate start for Legacy of the Dragonborn, since it adds a building right next to the home, so you can disregard that part if you don't have that mod installed. Now that we know the home's history, we're ready to start the tour. And what better place to start than the front gate? And what an impressive gate it is. Look at those nice dark elf lanterns. Straight through the gate, you can see the home's horse. Although the mod author didn't create a stable, she said that you can tell the horses that this is their home, on the right side of the property, behind the pond. Just spread them out a bit so they don't park in each other's spots. We're going to start to the left, and you can see a parked carriage that's next to your followers' quarters. Let's go inside and check them out. Inside of the followers' quarters, you have a dining room table with some sweet rolls for your followers to enjoy. You have name storage for weapons, name storage for armor, and if you activate that mannequin, it brings up a menu system so you can further differentiate between heavy armor, light armor, etc. You also have 4 followers' beds and a number of storage containers for you to store their items. Now that we've seen the inside of the followers' quarters, let's go back outside and see what the rest of the property has to offer. As we exit, we see a cow. You can milk this cow once a day. You also have chickens on the property. Here are their nests. You can use their eggs for ingredients to make potions. And then to the right you have a well. And then you can see the back porch from here too, but we're not ready to go up there quite yet. We're going to head to the left further up the hill. And behind these trees, you actually have a shrine to Mara. The mod author included idle markers for your kids, followers, and spouse to hang out here, so don't be surprised to see your kids laying on this rug or your spouse sitting on the bench and enjoying a nice weather day. Look at that cool glowing effect. It looks amazing at night, and it's decorated well with the foliage. Across the yard, there's a guard's post. There are also idle markers there for your kids to hang out, both on the post itself and below. And what a cool looking tree, too. Okay, let's get a little closer look. You have a really nice vantage point from this post. There's the giant camp where Nora probably met her demise. Across the river is Ronveig's Fast, where Sild the Warlock's probably conducting some questionable experiments. Okay, we're going to head back down and see what else we have. There's another great view of the back porch. We'll see that in just a moment. And then straight ahead you can see one of the garden areas. Alchemy lovers rejoice. You have 13 fertile soils to plant whatever you want. And how beautiful is this piece of land? The mod author picked a really nice spot. Here's a vegetable garden straight ahead. You've got some carrots, leeks, cabbages, and potatoes. And check out this nifty scarecrow. It's actually a practice dummy. Let's hop back over the fence. And there's a third garden that has 13 wheat plants. There's a cherry blossom tree. And then next to it is the Gildergreen tree where we buried Yorgrim next to Nora earlier. I always think these trees look really nice, and it's great to have a backstory to kind of tie everything together. Okay, you do have a little walkway here that you can patrol your area. There's a guard's chair, and there is an idle marker here for your followers and kids to hang out. And right there would be where the Legacy of the Dragonborn's alternate start building would be if you have that installed. You shouldn't have a conflict. If you have sky shards enabled, there is still one right there. So that's pretty neat because there's actually an idle marker for your kids to hang out right next to it. So they'll literally sit and look at the sky shard. And then you've got another water feature over here. Lots of plants growing and ingredients that you can use to make potions. Look at another cherry blossom tree. I love those trees. They're right up there with the aspen tree for me personally. And this area straight ahead with the Debellan statue and the sigil stone with the cool glowing effect, that's the pond area that we were discussing earlier where you tell your horses to live. So there's eye candy all over the outside of this property. And now we're going to go check out that back porch area that we've been showing you glimpses of earlier in the tour. And look at that cool gateway to go towards your front door. We're going to take a left. And here's a place for your followers and your kids to hang out. I love the way the light seeps through the ceiling and creates those shadows on the ground. And then of course you've got idle markers for your kids and followers. So your followers will sit in the chairs and your kids will lay out on this rug right here. It looks really neat. Okay, you do have a couple of smithing stations to your right, a workbench and a tanning rack. And then when you take a right, you complete the suite. So you've got your grindstone, your smelter, your anvil, and then you've got name storage for smithing materials. Straight ahead, you have a wood chopping block. And what I like about this is sometimes when you see these in house mods, the mod author will forget the woodcutter's axe. But Elfie Myrtle 3 didn't. She gave you a woodcutter's axe to use along with it. Here's another outside area for your followers and kids to hang out. A nice little table with some snacks, with a cherry blossom tree right in the background. You've got some tundra cotton to the left, a bench to your right, and you have some mountain flowers mixed in as well. Alright, that's about it for the outside of the home. Let's check out the inside. As you enter the home, straight ahead you have a chest for general stores, you have a fireplace with a cooking pot, a statue of Alduin, harvestable ingredients. You've got some windows that allow for dynamic lighting, which means if you're in the daytime, the room will be brighter, and at nighttime it'll be darker. A dining room table for 7, and named storage for raw and prepared foods. There's the front door again, and next to it's a light switch. And then this is a fountain of unburden. When you activate that, it takes all of the crafting materials from your inventory and puts them in crafting stores. There's the shield storage, heavy armor storage, light armor storage, and unarmored storage. Let's see what the next room over has to offer. On our way to the next room, you have some storage alongside of the wall for archery, one-handed weapons, staffs, and two-handed weapons. Next, you have a bed for 2, so if you have a spouse, you can bring them along, a couple of end tables, a couple of wardrobes, Then there's a jewelry box, an auto-sorting chest, ingredient storage, and on the shelves you have name storage for restoratives, buffs, and poisons, 2 skill books, name storage for market items, stolen items and treasures, books and papers, enchanting stores in the Crown of Baron Zaya, scrolls, crafting stores, recipes in the strong box, and if you look above the shelves there are shrines to Mara, Kenrith, and Debella, as well as Spriggan and Dragon figurines. Now that we've seen the main level, let's head downstairs and see what that has to offer. As we begin our tour of the basement, we're going to take a left and go all the way to the end of the hallway for our first room of interest, the Alchemy Lab. Starting to our left, we have a hearth fire oven. Straight ahead is a barrel for food storage, and next to that is static clutter on the shelves to represent alchemical stores. On the table, we have a custom alchemy lab that looks like a cauldron, a mortar and pestle used to grind bones and tusks. There's an alchemy skill book, and we have storage for restoratives, buffs, and potions. Here's a small gleam blossom garden, and then we have several empty containers for miscellaneous storage and harvestable ingredients. Okay, as we leave the room, we find name storage for tools and a mushroom stash. And now we're headed to our next room, the first of 2 children's bedrooms. Each children's room has 3 beds, and you can use the Bless This Home spell from the Hearthfire Multiple Adoptions mod to take full advantage of all 6 children's beds in the home. As you can see, they have some really cool toys to play with. And one of my favorite features are these windows. You can see out into the real world. That's a huge quality of life upgrade in my book. I'll try not to stub my toe on any of these toys on the way to the hall. Notice the rooms have light switches, which are handy for immersion at nighttime. Okay, to the left we have our library. Instead of arranging the books in alphabetical order, she classified the books by race and subject matter, and used figurines to help you find the appropriate bookcase you're looking for. For example, the Argonian figurine shows you where the Argonian Records bookcase is. The following categories can be found in the library: how-to books, poems, jokes, and novels, records for Argonians, Khajiits, Redguards, Imperials, Bretons, and the Nordic, a scroll library, books and papers, notes and journals, the natural world, Aedra and Daedra, all about dragons, and the Dwemer, Falmer, Snow Elves, Altmer, Dummer, Bosmer, and Orsimer records. Now that you know how the library works, let's head to the second of the 2 children's bedrooms. Much like the other children's room, we have 3 beds and containers to store their things. I love the mini horse and the training dummies. Nice touch. As we continue our tour, we're going to head to the right. The next room we'll enter is the enchanting room. And straight ahead, we have a custom arcane enchanter. That spinning orb is pretty cool. And that statue is the same statue that the Winterhold Retreat mod used on that far-off island. In the corner, we have a College of Winterhold mage statue with some powerful glowing hands. The next shelf has some soul gems you can take and a chest for items to disenchant. The item to the right is enchanting storage. We've already seen the custom enchanter, so we'll check out these 2 bookcases. One stores books on secrets of the dark arts and the other stores books for magical studies. I'll let you guess which is which. And on this desk you can find a copy of the Ethereum Wars and several magical skill books. The last room that we're going to check out is one more room for followers. Just like the followers' quarters, you have room for 4 followers. You have the cool named weapon storage with the menu system, and then you have a chest for followers' gear, and all sorts of storage containers for their items. Now that we've toured the home, I'm going to show you a few clips of how the followers and children idle around the home. I hope you enjoyed those interactive clips. It's time for final thoughts. Peaceful Garden is a beautiful property located right outside of Rorikstead that gives you all expected crafting, room for 6 kids, your spouse, 8 followers, 13 fertile soils, all cooking stations, a chopping block, several idle markers for followers and family to interact, and several eye candy areas, particularly on the outside. For being the mod author's second home mod, they're showing a lot of promise, and with several more home mods planned on this series based on her short stories, I'm excited to see what's next. I hope you all enjoyed this one. This concludes our tour of Peaceful Garden. If you enjoyed the show, please click the like button and leave a comment with your thoughts. To see more of my past tours, click the playlist on the top left. To see my future content, click the channel icon on the bottom left to subscribe. And to never miss an episode, click the bell icon to receive notifications of when I post. As always, thanks for watching. I'll catch you on the next episode.